Good morning. Good morning. My name's Jeremy Ensor, and this is my showreel as a cruise speaker. A little bit about myself before I actually start the showreel. I'm a relative novice to cruise speaking, but in October 2019, I was booked to do a cruise with Fred Olsen in northern France. It went very well. As a result, I was booked for three more tours last year, or this last year, 2020, which of course were all cancelled, sadly. But I'm absolutely determined to carry on, pursue this dream of mine. A little bit background about myself, a CV. I spent the first 12 years of my life working in the music business as a tour manager, sound engineer with bands like Deep Purple, Fleetwood Mac, touring the States, Europe, and UK extensively. After that, I joined CBS Records as a talent scout, and in the background, you can see platinum disc for one of the acts I signed. Now, when I get booked for a cruise, the main thing I do is research, and even more research. The first thing I do is look at the destinations that I'm contracted to speak on. I then contact the cruise ship or the tour manager to find out exactly what he or she expects of me, what ports, they can confirm what ports, where the cruise terminal is, when the shuttles are, and what tours that are on the schedule and what he or she wants me to promote or not to promote. I then go through my memory bank, which is still active. I go through my photo library, and if I haven't been there before or given the presentation before, I start a brand new one. So my research consists of online looking at things like what's in port. I look at the usual 10 best of from people like Lonely Planet. I then go on YouTube and look at the vlogs for each destination and get to know the destination by heart. I also obviously ask for the PowerPoint template if I don't already have it. And then I do research on the profile of the passengers of that particular cruise line so I can best address my talk to their interests. So let's have a look at my show reel. If you bear with me a second. Right, just very quickly to go through some of the destinations or the areas I can cover on cruises. Start with Scandinavia, the Baltics, Northern Europe, the UK and Iceland. North Africa, the Med and Western Europe. And places like Egypt, Israel, United Arab Emirates, Jordan. Most of Africa, East and West and South. Most of the Far East. States, Canada, the Caribbean, Brazil and Argentina, and I'm still working on yet more. Now, the great thing, if there can be a great thing about the lockdown, is that I've spent an awful lot of time preparing new presentations, and I currently have something in the region of 85. I spent the first 10 years of my life in Africa. I've lived in 5 different countries and worked in 3, and I visited 7 countries in total. So the first thing I do is try and find the very best photographs I can find. High resolution, no pixelation, with nice bright sunlight. Now my presentation usually covers the destination. It covers interest for people who are going solo, but also who are going on cruise tours. And this particular example will be visited by both. And so I cover it here, but also briefly in the tour details. This is an example of a visit to Alta in Norway, looking at the Aurora Borealis. I briefly explain what causes them and then go in a little bit of detail on how to capture the best possible photographs of the Aurora Borealis. Now, I always chuckle a bit at this. I'm a bit wary of recommending restaurants simply because it can backfire on you. But this one, I have to say, I'm quite happy to recommend. It's the Rock Restaurant in Zanzibar. It has a fabulous location and beautiful fresh seafood served literally caught right out of the ocean nearby. This is an example of one of my historical talks. I give talks on Peter the Great, Alexander the Great, Catherine the Great, all of whom fascinate me. I'm also working on other particular ones, like, for example, the Crusades and the Vikings. This is an example of my Fred Olsen cruise line promotion of particular tours. Obviously, in consultation with the tour manager, I remove or hide those that have either sold out or been cancelled. But I give all the details here, and if necessary, I get extra slides with more photographs. Now, one of the things I do for solo people is explain how to get round a particular town or what the distances are. In this case, it's the town of Visby, and I've already covered the main attractions in the center of town. So I then go through each attraction in turn, highlight it in a blue color, so it's visible by people with color blindness. I show the location and the distance. I like to bounce things occasionally simply because people at the back in the auditorium can see it better. The other thing I love about a lot of these towns is they have these wonderful little railways that are a bit like hop on, hop off, but they're much cuter. This particular one, as we'll see here, goes around all of the UNESCO heritage town walls, which this city is famous for. Right, that's just a brief introduction into some of my presentations. I hope you can see from this I have an absolute passion and dedication and belief in research, and delivering the best possible presentation for the cruise company. I'd like to say goodbye, and I look forward to seeing you in the future on one of your cruises. Thank you very much indeed.